I had this shoulder surgery recently. And, prior to this is something from an injury that was sustained first like 7 years ago during a game of basketball, right? Freak accident, go up for the thing. My shoulder gets knocked out of socket. Okay. Well, back then, right, it rolled it right back into socket. I actually kept playing. And it went out like 3 or 4 more times during that game, and I just kept putting it back in. And then it didn't happen again for like another year, and I was just like, playing. It came out. Okay, it comes back in, healthy and fine. Fast forward to recently, the end of last year, it happened again for the first time in a really long time, and I didn't think it was going to go back in this time. Last time I went to a primary care doctor, probably a long time ago. I think when I first moved to Florida, so we're talking 8 years ago. What is this, the year 2023? So 7.5 years ago. And yeah, I went to the guy, and nice guy. He was like, oh yeah, it seems like everything's fine, but let's go deeper and do a bunch of blood work and stuff so we can see if we can find something. And I was like, no thank you.
Kwame?
Alright, here we go. Alright, before it was, just a couple seconds or, maybe a minute or so, and we're right back in and at it, right? This time was like 45 minutes. And yeah, it eventually rolled back into place. Extremely painful, extremely debilitating. Just like deafening pain, which was never the case before. And I'm like, this is all not right. Well, I had an MRI.
You can stand right over here. You can just wait over there. So you're gonna put your back.
I know I'm not working as well as I once was, and I'm sorry. 27 is just not that old to be like, your systems don't work as good anymore. You're finished. Like, no, this is still the prime years for most people, for most men at least. I'm like, there's just no way. There's just no way. Considering what I hear.
So you're a new patient. So tell me a little bit about the pain.
Well, it's just the shoulder dislocates, and it keeps dislocating. Well, not like every day, but
How's your range of motion?
I can do everything fine, right? It's like, there's no necessarily pain in doing things, but like as I test it, I know that if I do too much here,
let's not do it. Too much.
Do you really want to see how far it goes? You either allow this to happen and you go down, or you make a change, right? And I can look at points where I don't know if other people are as conscious of their progressions as I've been conscious of this progression, right? So maybe that's just a personal blessing for me, and maybe other people, they don't realize until it's much later on, because it can just, time in life can go and you just don't realize until, maybe something triggers you out of it. The sling that I'll be donning is already in hand, ready to go under the knife. This is it. Everything is built up till now. Don't know what to expect. Hopefully everything goes well as planned. Losing my dominant arm, this is new territory for me, as I've never, obviously I've hurt the arm before, which is why I'm doing this, but like never to the point where it was going to be out of use for weeks and weeks and potentially months and months and months. So, this video kind of surfaced up that there was an interview from Food Insider. And the big Food Insider, their big account, not the fake food, but like the real deal people. And they had come and did this interview, and the interview I believe was conducted, I can't remember exactly when. I want to say it was the end of 2019, maybe the very beginning of 2020, like January 2020. And they did this interview conducting about this collaboration that I did with another restaurant, a donut shop at the time that I was good friends with. And watching that interview, I remember when it resurfaced at the restaurant, watching it, well, you can see it now, it looked as if I ate myself. It looked as if I ate myself. I mean, it didn't even look like the same person. It didn't even look like the same person. I mean, everything was filled out with just a ballooning, right? Hop on a scale, I didn't have a scale at home ever, so not like I was tracking this stuff or looking at it. And I think I got on it randomly at Publix one day. The number was 254. Well, I came upon an interesting decision. If I'm going to go to the gym, right, I'm just gonna just go and just drive there and come back, because that's an easy way out, right? Easy to just drive past it and go to it and go for it, or to stay in the car and be like, oh, I got this, and the phone's ringing and so-and-so's calling, and work and all these other things, and family, or whatever the case is. But if I walk there, there's nothing to sit around outside and ponder in. I gotta just go in and do it. I'm already ready. I've already gotten dressed. I've already got everything on. I'm eliminating the excuses, eliminating the obstacles, eliminating the barriers. So there's no choice but to move forward. We're already walked. We're already away from the house, right? So I'm already going. I just got to keep going now, right? It's too late to turn back. I'm already dressed. I'm outside, going forward. Train for the discipline. I want to establish discipline. That's a really important part of this journey for me, is to establish real, long-lasting, sustainable discipline. There's no excuse. There's no excuse that you're going to allow yourself to not be able to start this. And if you can start it now, you'll be able to continue it anytime. Because I can have every excuse, so I can't do arms and shoulders and triceps and biceps and back, or most anything with that, and very hard to do any traditional core exercises because I'm so inhibited, and that's all excuses. For me, historically, legs were the thing that I always avoided the most, because it brings the most pain. And again, humans, we always seek to avoid pain, or get closer to pleasure, or seek pleasure, avoid pain. And this is how we develop the ZtoZ mindset. I'm going to lean into it. The thing that I hated and ran away from the most is the thing I'm going to lean into, because it's the only option I have to be able to begin to start to get to where I want to go. So there's the leg press machine, there's the leg extension machine, and then there's the seated leg curl, which I could do because that focuses on the hamstring, and another seated exercise to focus on the hamstring, focus on the quads, do a compounding one for both. And then there were some other things. Well, actually, I feel good, and the reason I'm smiling is because one, it's like a psychological trick for your brain, right? When you smile, you instantly feel better about something. And so I realized, right, after every exercise, after everything, especially after every workout, I need to smile, right, to send signals to my brain, to my body, that this was a pleasurable experience, right? I got to tell my brain and shift my mindset that this wasn't about the pain, it was about the pleasure, because I feel pretty good, right? I feel like invigorated, right? Energetic. I feel good, right? It was tough and painful to go through, but it was good. And I've realized that so much of this Zero to Zaddy journey is going to be about, and it already is about, establishing true discipline. And for me, definitely when it comes to health and wellness, right, I've lacked true discipline, right? True discipline to lead to true consistency, right, which leads to actual sustainable results. And that part I've lacked. Hope you'll continue to follow along, see me through on the journey, or join with me at some point in time. We can all be accountable and help each other out. This is what this is about. But I'm going to be accountable to me, because I owe it to myself. Obviously, I've got someone behind the camera that helps a little bit with that too. And we're going to keep this thing rocking and rolling. ZtoZ out. Oh, Kwame B on ZtoZ out. That's pretty good.